Hello and welcome to the Knock On KCLR and Scoreline.ie's weekly rugby podcast. The full team is here today. Tom Crotty from Carlow, James Blanchard from Kilkenny and Paddy Brown from Tullow, and myself, Stephen Byrne. Paddy's gone and he's back there again. I think it's lads, how's it going?
Very good, Stephen.
Good to have the gang together. We've loads to talk about. We're getting towards the end of the local season, I suppose. Well, for some, but plenty to chat about as well. I suppose may start with yourself, Paddy, and Tullow into the Towns Cup final, back to defend your title again. A good win over Gorey in the semi-final. Sean O'Brien was on board. You know, will Shawnee get his first Towns Cup medal as a player? And sort of, I don't know, I suppose one thing that I would have always, I suppose, dreamed about, getting the Towns Cup medal with his own club, you know, as well as all the accolades he had at provincial and international level.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen.
And anyway, that's for another day. It's nice to be in that position to do it.
Yep, thanks, Stephen. And as I said, greetings from the Algarve here, where it's 25 degrees, just to annoy people a bit more. But anyway, there's a lot to review and to look forward to at the moment from a Tullow point of view. And but obviously, you mentioned the Towns Cup there, and also our women, which I'll talk about a bit in a moment, and a fair bit of activity on the youth side as well. But yeah, the semi-final last Sunday in Enniscorthy against Gorey was a game of two halves, as most games last weekend were because of the storm. The gale was going straight down the pitch, and Gorey won the toss and played against the wind. And, you know, we got a try in 2 or 3 minutes thanks to some Scott Callback and converted it. And we felt that's what we need to do now. It was definitely a gale that you'd say we need 20 or 30 points. That all the scoring going to be down that end. And we didn't score then until the 25th minute. And Tullow supporters were getting very, very nervous. 7-0 for 25 minutes. And then we did finish with a flourish and we got 3 more tries, one from Ryan O'Neill, one from Orange Farrell, and one from Aho, or Jack Hanlon. So, and there were 4 good tries. So the half-time score was 24-0. And, you know, even that people were worrying, was it enough? And to be fair to Gorey, they got a try themselves within 3 minutes of the second half, and it was squeaky bum time for Tullow supporters, definitely. But the real turning point was we immediately went back up the field against the wind and got a try, and repeated the act. Sean O'Brien got a try actually as a good individual try, and it wasn't converted. He had won a line out in that move, and it was very, very hard to get up the field. And the second try was Gorey got a try in the meantime from young Deering, and then Tullow went back up the field and they had to maul the ball from about 30 metres out, and they got a try. It was touched down by I think who touched down? I think it was Jordan Leyburn, and that was very well converted into the wind by Adam Johnson. So in fact that left the score at 36-14, and while the final score was 36-26 and it seemed a kind of tight, it was in the very end, but they got 2 tries in the last few minutes of the game. So it was actually with 3 minutes to go, or about 4 minutes to go, it was actually 36-14. Now we had 2 men yellow carded, and there were genuine yellow cards. Then they were both trying to prevent tries, so we finished the last few minutes with 13 men, and that's when Gorey got their 2 tries. So there was no chance of them catching us at that stage. So it did put a more decent look on the scoreline. So yeah, and I'm sure anyone that's reporting on matches last weekend will be talking about the win, but it was a good win. It was a good win, and we were very happy. Gorey didn't put up a fair old fight, and they kicked with the wind better than we did. We didn't use the wind to great effect in the first half as well as we could have had. The Gorey kicker, Stephen Duffy, the out half, has great boot on him, and he used the wind very, very well in the second half and did pin us back a good few times. So to get those 2 tries kind of against the wind really was the difference between the two teams. They weren't able to score against the wind, and we got those 2 tries. And one of them had to be mauled in from about 30 metres, which is not an easy thing to do, but that was the difference. And I suppose, in that situation, our big pack, we've 3 huge men there, plus Sean O'Brien, and the other guys are not too small either, but you have Stevie Smith and Colm Gorey and Martin Cole. They're 3 monsters. They're 3 huge men, and the rest of the pack aren't too small either. So that, the size of the pack is making a big difference, and certainly Sean coming in at number 7 there is a factor. So yeah, we're now building up towards the final in Carlow on Sunday week against Ashbourne. But a lot of people surprised that Ashbourne beat Wicklow, but that's how we have to play. We played them in the league, and we won 1, lost 1 against them in the league. So we're not taking anything for granted. It's going to be a tight game. Finals generally are. Last year's against Kilkenny and our match against Carlow last year were definitely very tight affairs. So yeah, we're heads are down now and getting ready for that. So I'll move on to the ladies. Will I, Stephen, or do you want to stop there?
No, I'll work away there. The ladies' course golf club final this weekend.
Yeah, well, the women are in a very busy time at the moment. They won their league, as we've mentioned here before, and that gave them access into a round robin to go AIL, to go senior status. There was 4 teams in, 1 from each province. So last weekend we had to go down to Ennis to play Ennis away, and it was also in the Storm on Saturday. And the ladies won that one in a narrow affair, 15-10, to 3 unconverted tries to 2 unconverted tries. And Tullow had the win in the first half, and yet only went in at half-time 10-all. So they needed to score against the wind, and they did that near the end and had to withstand another big onslaught from Ennis in the last 5 minutes, and they did that. So it was a fantastic win, a long way from home. And I suppose if they do get through, to make it used to these long journeys, I suppose that's the beauty of the AIL. The final of that is on Sunday week, the same day as the Towns Cup final, and it's against Queen's University, and we've no idea what they're like because we don't have any form line on them at all, so it's hard to know what they're doing. And that game is in Balbriggan at 11:30, the morning of the Towns Cup final, and we tried to get it the day before, and the powers that be wouldn't put it on because it'd be clashing with the Women's International. And mentioning of which too, we are very proud of the fact that our 2 Tullow girls are again starting on Saturday. Dan O'Brien and Amy Corrigan. So it's Katie Corrigan. So fair play to them. In between that, they have another big game on Sunday. This Sunday, they're playing in going for a third in a row Paul Flood Cup, and they're playing Barnhall, and that again in Balbriggan. I think at 4:30 on Sunday, and or is it Saturday, and that's a huge one. There's very little between themselves and Barnhall. They both won their home fixtures in the league, and there's never much between Tullow and Barnhall. We beat Tullow more in the last 2 finals. So yeah, it's a busy few weeks for the girls, and but there seems to be good spirit in the camp and no injury worries at the moment. Anyway. The tries scorers down in Ennis, just for the record, were Lauren Faulkner, Grace Kelly and Roisin O'Toole got the all-important try with 10 minutes to go. So that's the big activity. Our J3s won their first round in the Anderson Cup. They beat Swords 31-5 last Sunday morning before the match in Enniscorthy. And a good young team was put out there for the thirds. On the youth front, our under 13 boys beat Gorey 17-10 in the semi-final of the league, and the under 14 girls, as Tom will know, the Rhinos beat Wexford also in the semi-final 22-19. Our under 15 boys lost narrowly to Wexford 5-3, and our under 16 boys beat Carlow 22-17. So a lot of a good weekend all around, Stephen, for Tullow, and a lot going on.
Absolutely, Jason. Congratulations. Anyway, Paddy, all preparations out for the next week for the Towns Cup final, and as well. And of course, the venue for it is Carlow, Tom. they're coming to your patch to play it. So you're busy as well getting place prepped, I presume.
Absolutely. It's all going home now for the awful lot of work has gone in over the last couple of weeks for it. Because we're expecting a big crowd. Probably would have got a bigger crowd if we had Wicklow, but we expect Ashbourne to bring a decent enough crowd because we know that Tullow will bring that side of the county with them. So we're expecting a big crowd in. As I said, like there's an awful lot of work going on behind the scenes, getting the grounds and the pitch ready and stand cleaned out and preparation for a la Cadoos from Leinster and Bank of Ireland and all the usual suspects for the day. But look, hats off to the people involved. Have been meeting every Tuesday for the last, I'd say, nearly 2 months. They must be fed up of meeting each other and organising this. But we're really looking forward to it. It would be nicer if we were in the final ourselves, but we're not. We're still licking our wounds after our beaten by our close neighbours. But that's sport, and we have to get on with it and move on to next season with the J1s. But we're really looking forward to the final. As I say, like there's a lot of preparation gone into it, and we're trying to make it kind of more of a festival day. There's music going to be on the day, and if DJs put in and stuff like that, and want to try and give a bit of a party atmosphere the whole way through if we can, and make it as enjoyable for all the supporters that come, because like we keep saying here, that to me the Provincial Towns Cup is the pinnacle of rugby, junior rugby, and it's a fantastic tournament. It's our own mini Heineken Cup, and there's been a massive crowd. There was a good crowd in Athy last year, and you can see the interest. And as I say, having a local team there as well makes it a huge thing for us, because we know we get the crowd, and also you get a lot of neutral support from Carlow as well. Lads coming in to watch the game, and so look, that's that. We're, as I say, preparations are on board, and we'll be ready. Hopefully, be ready by next week. As I said, the place is looking stunning at the moment. The pitch has been minded like a baby. No one's allowed to walk on it, I think, at this stage. But look, if we can get people, just telling people like to come and watch the thing. That's the key thing. Come on, if you want to come on, even don't have to be a rugby supporter or supporter of either team, but just come and have a look and watch, because I said it's going to be a cracking day out, and hopefully the weather. I think the forecast is not so long range forecast is not too bad for next weekend. So if we can have a nice day, it'll make it even better for us. Now I suppose we better go on to our own rugby. We haven't had a whole lot of rugby since the last time we met. The J2's match was cancelled. It was they got a walk over the last day, so the J2s are out on Sunday. They're playing Rathote away. It's going to be a really tough game, because that's Rathote's first team. And
semi-final, Tom, is it?
No, I think it's quarter-final. If we get through, we play a tie in the semi-final. No, they beat Balbriggan. Balbriggan, I think, got promoted. They beat Balbriggan last weekend, so that was a really good win for them. Balbriggan got moved up to 2A. So, look, we know that's going to be a tough ask for the J2s to travel up there, but look, they're preparing well for it. A couple of lads missing that we would have liked to have on board. Just that time of the year, we can't, you're always going to miss one or two, and a couple of lads injured, kind of carrying injuries, but we've strong enough to hopefully have a strong enough team to go up and give it a good lash. Boys been, as I say, like the boys have been training well, and the management and captain there, Dave Kepling, that have got the lads together over the last couple, kept the lads going, and I have to say hats off to the J1s that turned up and helped out with training, and turned up even though their rugby's finished for the season. They come up and gave a dig out there, and I think probably a few of them are going training again tonight, just to help with the J2's preparation for the game on Sunday. And then we have tomorrow we have the J3s. It was almost like the cadavers coming out. It was almost like the cadavers coming out last night, seeing where they dragged them out. But good little players there too. They're playing Tullow at home tomorrow at 1:00. So before the match, because I think that's Leinster put it on early, so we can get up and watch the La Rochelle Leinster game. So I just want to wish them the best of luck. The best of luck with them, because as I say, like, there's a lot of lads coming out of retirement and dusting off their boots as they usually do every year for the J3s, and so look, if we can get through Tullow, it'll be brilliant. Brilliant for them, because as I said, there's a couple of lads missing, just an unfortunate weekend with things, and if we can get through this round, we'll probably have a few more lads back for the following round. Other than that, what news have I got? The youths haven't done a whole lot really since their 16s or the 15s were away in Wales and did very well. Got to the final of the tournament, but unfortunate to lose the final by a couple of points. But did us very proud over there. I can't remember now, to be honest. They're still involved, I think, in the under 15 play, and I think they could be in the league final as well. So hats off to them. The 18s are out tomorrow. They're playing Gorey in the play quarter final. That's in Carlow at 11:00 in the morning. They're preparing well for that. 16s, as Paddy said, were just unfortunate. It was seemingly a cracking game up in Naas, and they were just come out the wrong side of that. But they've been a team developing for the last year. They've got a lot of new guys in and recruited well over the last season. And look, we'll hope for good things for them in the future. A lot of nice little players there. Our under 14s then are in. Actually, just to let people know that the under 14 Leinster finals are all in. I'd normally have them in Carlow, but because we're closed to everything with the Towns Cup the next day, our neighbours Tullow have gladly hosting that. That's next Saturday, starting at 11:00 in the morning with the Division 2 finals. We've played finals, and the last final then is the Premier final, which actually Tullow are playing at tie-in.
Bit of a delay there to Tom. Tom's frozen on us. that's live recording for you folks. Tom's frozen there. James, do you want to jump in?
I will, sure. If you want me to keep it going, yeah, and Tom can jump back in there if he comes in. He's not moving on the screen anyway. So yeah, look, like Carlow, kind of things are starting to kind of scale back a bit at that stage of the season now. So, funnily enough, the last time Carlow hosted the Towns Cup, we won it. We beat Portlaoise in Carlow. I think it was 2001. Against Portlaoise. Portlaoise had us beaten out the gate. Not out the gate, but Portlaoise had us beaten, and we got a penalty inside our own half against the wind, nearly up the hill in Carlow. And Dave McMahon, our out half at the time, slotted and put it over the bar with 2 minutes to go, and we won the game. Ironically, Dave wasn't supposed to be starting that match. Barry Daly got injured on a team run the night before, so Dave came in off the seconds and played that game out half and won it for us. So a little bit of nostalgia there, just thinking back to Carlow as good memories of Carlow on Towns Cup Sunday. Last weekend was busy enough to be fair. Our J3 match was deferred a week on account of Boy were playing the Metro final last weekend, so it was pushed back until this week. So the J2's seconds travelled up to a tie for the Seconds Cup, and I think it's fair. Very few people going up felt we should have feared the tie, because we had a couple of good battles with them in the league this year in seconds, but we had a lot of players down from first. I think there was six guys who had played first all season, or parts of first for a good part of the season, were in the seconds team on Sunday. Probably the best game of rugby I've watched all year, to be really honest. The lads just put it in, and like I thought you get a score, we get a score. It was just nipping. It was kind of tit for tat the whole way. We had chances to take a penalty, to shoot for goal in the last 5 minutes, and we opted to go for the corner. The right decision probably would have been to go for goal, But off the resulting line out with 2 or 3 minutes to go, maybe 5 minutes to go, we drove forward. One of our players fell with an injury. We went over the line and scored the try. Referee blew his whistle and called play back because we had an injured player on the ground. It made absolutely no sense to anyone on the line, made no sense to anything. Unless it was foul play, he shouldn't have brought it back, Ultimately, will I say it cost us the game? That isolated item or instance would have cost us the game, but besides that, we had opportunities to take points when they were on offer and go to the goal. So unfortunately we just succumbed. We just didn't have enough time, so we lost out 15-17, which was disappointing. But I will say, like, at High, they were a very good second side. We had to be at our best to keep it 15-17, and at that we probably could and should have won it. But you can see at High over there, they're really a club that are kind of buoyed up at the moment by the success that they're having, and their seconds will take beating in the cup, I think, Tom. And I know your guys are out against them now, but they will take beating. They're a bloody good second side.
Well, we have to get it over this weekend first.
This is yeah.
Don't be having a commentator's curse here now.
Sorry, I actually forgot you to play with Holt. Apologies.
No commentator's curse.
But no, look, they're a good side. We were very, very disappointed. If we lost, if it was a game that we felt we weren't in, I don't think the lads would have been as disappointed as they were. But coming off the pitch, they actually really knew it was one that they let away, and at High knew it was one that they were made work exceptionally hard for. But I will say to any teams who are playing at High is don't give away penalties, because they have a full back there who just knocks them over for fun from any distance, from any angle. Our under-16s qualified for the plate final. They beat Mullingar comprehensively, or beat Longford fairly comprehensively last weekend in Mullingar. It was great for that team that they've qualified for the plate final, because they had a gut-wrenching loss in the league semi-final, the Premier League semi-final the week before against Navan and Kilkenny. Like, Navan came down not giving our 16s a chance. They were going to beat them off the park. Our 16s went out with, I think they had 16 or 17 players through injuries, and guys been caught up in county GA development squads and whatnot. And they went out, it was a 24-all draw or 27-all draw, where we had an opportunity in the last 2 minutes to kick a penalty that just came off the crossbar and didn't go over. Navan went up the pitch and scored a converted try to tie the game, but Navan won the game on first try scored. So it was gut-wrenching for the lads, because they gave it everything they had against a Navan side that hadn't been beaten in youth rugby yet. So that was tough for them. So we're all delighted for the 16s that have qualified for the plate final, and that maybe they will get a little bit that they get a chance to play for some silverware this year. But some very good players in that 16s team that we're looking forward to seeing progress through, hopefully, to adult rugby. Our under-13s are out this weekend in the Division 2 League final. They play Wexford Wanderers at 11 o'clock in Portlaoise tomorrow. So best of luck to everyone involved in the under-13s. It'll be a nice one for them to bring back, and they're going well. So from that perspective, it'll be great. As I said, our thirds are out this weekend. They're on the road up to Athboy. That was supposed to be played last weekend. However, Athboy were playing the Metro, I think Division 9 or 10 final against the Royal College of Surgeons. So, like Carlow, there's a few relics travelling up to Athboy this Sunday, but there's a few very good rugby players, few guys there who have been kind of in and out of the seconds all year are going up. So I think to mention Michael Boyd there, I think Michael Boyd is nearly 56 years of age, and Mick is togging out this Sunday up for the thirds up in Athboy. So best of luck to them. But look, there's a couple of Towns Cup winners in there. Joe Moynihan is travelling up, who was tight head when we won the Towns Cup 2 years ago. Charlie Buckley, Joe Conley. There's a good cohort of rugby players going up there. But incidentally enough, the Anderson Cup is the only cup that Kilkenny has never won. We've never ever won the Anderson Cup, and there would have been a lot of people out there who would have been who would have done anything they could to win an Anderson Cup. We got to one Anderson Cup final, I think, in 1989 or 1990, and we were beaten in it with a star-studded team. But the star player went on a week-long bender, I believe, and never turned up for the final. ended up being a club captain and captained us to a couple of Towns Cups, so we can't argue too much with him. Sorry about that, Willie Manny. So that's the thirds are out. The thirds are out this Sunday. So look, we're really hoping we get that over the line. As I say, things are really winding down now in the season. The women are still going. I think the women are still in the Paul Cusack Cup in their relative division. So they're pushing on as well. Were they beaten last week? I think they might be beaten. But the big one that we're all kind of looking forward to now is the Junior Interpro on April 27th in Kilkenny. Munster versus Leinster. It's their first game. It's fair to say, I think, that all three of our clubs, Carlow, Kilkenny, Tullow, will all be represented in the squad. I know that they played a warm-up game last week in a tie against the Defence Force that was going to travel up to that. But the weather wasn't good enough. I think we have three guys on the squad in Jay Colbeck, Wes Carter, and Gary Dunn. So three of our forwards are in that. Probably if Jake MacDonald was in the country, he'd be there as well, but he's not. So on April 27, we're looking forward to that and hoping that it'll be, like Carlow, hoping it'll be a good day in the club. It was a great day down. Munster played Leinster down in Waterford City last year. There was a massive crowd at the game and the weather played into it as well and everyone enjoyed it. So that perspective, that kind of brings me to a close on activities in Kilkenny.
Stuff. And you know, J3s are in bother. James, tell him if your dock is open this weekend, we'll sort him out. No, in fairness, it's something I admire. Like there's fellas there, and you probably have the same, Tom and Paddy. There's lads there that you don't see from one end of the year to the next. J3 comes up and they arrive out and they're mad for cup rugby, and whether they're cute old foxes or not, that they good rugby players, but they don't want to commit maybe during the year, and they get a couple of games in the J3 Cup. It's brilliant, but the disappointing thing for us is now that if we're beaten this weekend, we can't qualify for the Dunn Cup because our match was postponed last weekend. So historically, if you were beaten in the first or second round of the Anderson Cup, you automatically qualified for the Dunn Cup, which is the J4 Cup. But because our game was postponed last week, the Dunn Cup has been played off this weekend, so it just would have been too late for the draw. So it's win at all costs for the J3s this weekend. Under just important to mention Barry Daly and Gary Doyle are managing and coaching the thirds. So best of luck to them. Good stuff, lads. Anything else to add in for the weekend?
Sell out in the Aviva tomorrow, so hopefully now it'll be Leinster will do it. It's some build up to it, incredible build up to it, but I think they'll do it.
Well, I've never seen Leinster promote the game as much as the amount of emails they come out with links to links to members for pre-sales and this and I've never seen coming out as quick after the game against Leicester. So
Irish rugby needs them to win. Like they have to win.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it now because it'll be a rush up. They'll watch be up at the J3s at 1:00 and then jump in the car up to watch us. So
Munster are out, Tom.
What?
Munster are out.
Yeah, that's why I'm going up to watch Leinster.
You can talk, James. You can talk.
I'm an Irish rugby supporter, Paddy.
Stephen and I are in the minority here with these Leinsters, so we are.
No.
I'm blue.
Pick the right team as well for the game.
Well, I do enough for the boys in blue anyway, so I'm allowed my little bit of debaucheries for a bit of red on now and again.
We'll give you that, Tom.
I look sexy in red, you see.
Yes.
Peter O'Mahony got his contract anyway, so it's fair to say he'll be Irish captain for another 12 months anyway. It's a century contract as well, isn't it?
It's it's
Munster contract. I think it's a Munster contract you got.
No,
I thought I read today that it was an agreement between the IRFU and Munster Rugby.
Oh, right.
See,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if central contract, James. It's a funny one because the IRFU paid for Zebo to come back from Racing as well. So there's a bit of funding that goes on with it. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's another year on the central.
Yeah, maybe it's partially funded.
Well, there's a lot of movement. I see the centre for Connacht is moving to Munster.
Kilgannon?
Huh?
Kilgannon? Or is there another one?
No, Farrell, is it?
Okay.
Yeah, seemingly he's going to Munster. They're in a bit of bother, you see, because Antoine Frisch is looking to play with has been asked to play with France or get involved. He wants to play with the French team now because he's been asked, and he then no longer becomes Irish eligible, and that means he'll have to leave Munster.
At the end of his contract, though, isn't it?
I don't know if the end of the contract, but it's disappointing because they don't have you have to keep teams competitive, and they're not competitive at times because of the lack of. It's kind of I don't know. There's certain areas that don't have quality.
Never had quality in the centre.
Quality backup in the centre. Like the two boys are playing well. Frisch has something special. Like he's definitely I watched the two boys, and Yankovic is not too bad. Like the two boys are starting to play, but then again, if Frisch leaves, that means the centre pairing is going to be different again, and it's different to Leinster, who have guys who are playing week in week out, and then when because the two internationals or the two international boys go away, the next set of centres are always playing together. So it's I don't know. And I see Leinster opening the big checkbook again.
For the Tongan tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$500,000 a year.
For a tight head. That is going to be our backup tight head.
And that is less than he is on at the moment because that team is seemingly going to the wall.
Yeah. But he's that's mental, and he's only going to be second choice tight head behind Furlong.
But sure, if you think about it, Furlong's going to be you wouldn't know. Furlong could retire.
Do you think?
He's still only 32, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not like this. He's a lot more than just. I think he's a lot more going to, like he's got his degree there and everything. I don't know how long. I don't know if he's going to be 100% going forward. I don't know how long more he'll have. Not from an age point. I think just from playing point.
Yeah, well, I think that's a lot of the reason why the Jaeger was enticed home as well, wouldn't it be that there's a right head spot there for Jaeger. He's only 28 to go chasing,
Now it could be a kid, but then it'd be strange if he wasn't if Furlong doesn't. I presume he'll give it another. I presume he'll have another year.
I don't know. I think he's 32. I think as a tight head, I think. I suppose he's not your typical tight head.
But I don't think James. It's an age thing. I think he's when his time comes, he'll decide himself. It won't be from an age point. It won't be like.
I'd say there's a few years left in the year, I hope.
But
he might go back and win a Towns Cup with New Ross. Who knows?
You never know.
Actually, he come our way.
If Leinster get through the weekend, it'd be nice to travel up to the park.
That'd be some occasion. It'd be a sellout, would it? Jeez, that would be something else.
Well, the last time it was it was Munster and Leinster was the.
That's right. It was a turning point for Leinster.
The turning of the tide was done in the Croke Park.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was the birth of Johnny Sexton as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't see. Do we know who they might have to play? Who they might play?
Northampton. The winner of the Northampton and the Bulls, which would probably be Northampton. The Bulls are sending up their seconds.
What do you mean the Bulls are sending their seconds?
There's 14. All their good players are not. They're claiming they're injured. They're claiming that they're injured, but they're none of them are traveling. All their internationals. So well, they're claiming the Bulls are saying they're injured, but there's a lot of doubt over that. They've 8 different flights to get. I think Jay White is getting out a lot about the travel arrangements. So I don't know.
Yeah, they all are to come to Europe via Dubai, I think, or Abu Dhabi or somewhere like that.
That's very strange. They're not going to give that a lash.
Yeah, particularly given the way they hammered Leon 57-0 or something in the last week. Yeah, they were completely up for that match, so it's a huge surprise.
Yeah. That's a bit mad. Well, I can't see. Well, to be honest, Northampton won't live with. I watched the Munster game. Northampton won't live with Leinster, and if Leinster play the way they can play, they won't. No one will live with it.
It's like you and Matt Todd. It's like you and Matt Todd, Tom. We won't. We cross that bridge after tomorrow.
That's a given.
You talking out, Tom?
For the J3s, I tell you, I was up last night and I was looking at some of the lads and I was going, "Jesus, I better get out of here." I was wearing my shorts. I said, "I could be asked,
buddy talking out." I bet he is. Is my old buddy talking out?
Who?
Tom Bulger.
Yeah, Tom arrived up 2 weeks ago to training.
I nearly go just to watch him.
Tom's a legend. He may move to the front row though. Sorry, Tom. No, he's case aside, you know, he's some warrior.
He is, in fairness to him.
He is it, absolutely. Plus, I think, can we go back into the J4 into the Dun Cup? We didn't play yet.
No.
This is our first round.
We didn't either. I believe I heard last weekend that's why we can't get into the Dun Cup because we're only playing this weekend.
All right.
Now maybe it's different, but it'd be great if we could, but we can't. But we're going this is one of my gripes at the moment with seconds and thirds cups is that first teams are allowed playing them. I think Dun Cup and Seconds Cup or Anderson Cup should be kept for J2 and J3 teams, and J1 teams that don't want to enter the Towns Cup should be put into a second tier Towns Cup competition. That's my complaint for the week. The podcast wouldn't be complete without me complaining about something.
That's a fair point, and it's getting more common, both in first and seconds. So that's I agree with you totally.
And with the Seconds Cup, it's rare that a J1 team will win it. But it's what they're doing is they're knocking out genuine seconds teams along the way.
Yeah.
I just think it's a big bugbear of mine. I can understand why certain clubs don't want to put their J1s and their first teams into the Towns Cup proper. Then go into a second tier Towns Cup, but leave the J2 and J3 cups for J2 and J3 teams.
Yeah. That's a good point. Because it is, yeah. It's a tough. Well, actually, that Anderson Cup is a terrible hard cup to win.
Wicked hard. But she won it a good few times, haven't she?
We won it a few times. He was on one of them. But it hasn't. They're not an easy. That and the Dun Cup is not easy.
Yeah.
Actually, the Dun Cup is the last cup, adult cup we won up to the Southeast Cup this year.
My last game of rugby was a
actual cup now, not league cup, but actual cup. Senior J1 cup.
Yeah, I won my last game of rugby was a Dun Cup final against Naas in a tie, and we won it.
Yeah, we beat Naas in the Carlow. I was coaching. I coached under 20s that year. We had a very good team. We got to the final of the first 20s. We lost to Blackrock in the final, and I decided myself and Terry decided we put them into the Dun Cup. And we ended up playing Naas. So I think they were all 20s except for three old fellas on the team at the time. And Naas arrived down with more Towns Cup medals came off the bus. Like now they were aging all right, but there was a lot of Towns Cup medals came off that bus, and I think they thought they were going to win it. And the boys soaked up the pressure for the first bit, but sure the young lads just ran rings around them. Absolute rings around them. This is a great win.
It's a nice cup to win, actually.
It is. But those cups are great crack.
Yeah. I think we won 3 of them in the last 10 years, 3 Dun Cups. So
Oh, geez. Do you know what? Sorry, Stephen. I forgot to mention. I have to mention one thing or I'll be shot. Carlow are setting back up a women's team.
Great.
And starting this Friday, and for the next 4 weeks, we have the women's Give It a Try. We're just looking to get girls back in for a bit of social rugby and teaching. We'll work from there, but try and get into maybe Division 5 next season and try and rebuild because we need to get our women's team going. And in fairness to Kilkenny, they put a lot of effort in. They've got their team running, and we had a good team years ago, but it sort of faded. And now we've a good bunch of people involved trying to get it back off the ground. It's not easy, but we're going to give it a lash. And as I said, they're giving it a try tonight. I think it's at 7:30 in the club. So that'll be on for the next 4 weeks. If anyone knows anyone in the Carlow area that might just want to play a bit of social rugby, just try it out for the first time. It's not, as I said, it'll be only Division 5 next season, so it'll be easy enough rugby. Won't be anything particularly stressful. So just to get us back on board.
Absolutely. Coyotes were a great team, Tom.
Yeah. I just look. It was kind of. It was just a bit hard kind of running it with the college type, because the college had a team and we had a team that combined for a while. So, but it just sort of faded. Group. It's like most things that when you have the core group start to fade away, very hard to keep things running. We probably weren't set up properly, or didn't set it up properly enough to know how to maintain it on the long term, because we didn't have young girls. There wasn't any girls teams in the club at that stage. All the girls were playing with minis, and then they stopped. There was very little girls rugby. I don't think there was any girls rugby really in Leinster at the time, so it was hard to maintain players coming in. But now look, there's plenty of girls around, and as I say, we just want to start it off and try and get the team running and work over the next couple of years and see where we go. Because there's an awful lot of fabulous female sports people out there at the moment, so we just want to try and provide a facility for them in this area.
Absolutely. Very best of luck with it as well.
Thank you.
I think we'll wrap it up there, lads. Very best of luck. Any of your games are in this weekend. Enjoy the Leinster, La Rochelle and the other Champions Cup matches this weekend. Fingers crossed Leinster get through and we get a day out in Crow Park, although not for hurling or football reasons. And
Carlow people want directions to Crow Park, we'll give them to you.
What?
If the Carlow people are looking for directions to Crow Park, just give us a ring.
Jason, you're very smart.
Have a good one, boys.
I've been there twice. And we got beaten both times. Once by Leash, and then I went up to watch Mount Leinster Rangers play the final at the hurling as well, and they lost. So I reckon I could be a bad omen when Carlow get to Crow Park. You seem to win. Actually, I went up to cheer Kilkenny on the last time, and they lost to feckin' Tipperaries.
2019.
Definitely, me and Crow Park don't have a whole lot. The better results with rugby.
That's fair enough.
Absolutely. Lads, have a good one. Enjoy the weekend. Take care.
Yeah. See you lads. Enjoy the weekend.
See you later.